one of my greatest struggles was university, like not getting a first at uni because I was able to. Like I had the skills. I was like 10 marks off the first, and I think it always burns me because I know that had I been focused and not running around and doing everything I wanted to be Beyonce. I wanted to dance, sing, act, and it was too much. Like I should have been focused, but yeah, like that's one of the things that like I'm most upset about. And yeah, I think that's it actually. I think other than that, there's been ups and downs, but I think they're normal. But I think in my final year at uni when I was 21, like that was where I let myself down a little bit. Because it's £27,000, like to get like I was upset. So.
So I didn't know what I wanted to do after graduation, and figuring that out was like not a weird process, but like from GCSEs to A-levels to uni, I always picked and did what I wanted. So I wanted to do drama at A-level and I wanted to do politics. So I went and did it. I wanted to go uni, I wanted to do politics. So I went and did it, and then I finished uni, I'd done well and whatever, but there wasn't anything that I really, like there was no job that I wanted to go and do. There was nothing I was like, oh, this is the career.
I guess I sometimes have felt a bit discontent with where I am and what I'm doing, and if I want to do something more glamorous or something that earns more money, because engineering doesn't pay the most. So sometimes I felt kind of like, what am I doing? Do I really want to be here? Do I actually enjoy this, or is this my purpose? So I'm still navigating that. I haven't really found out what I want to do forever.
The dream is you get your good grades, you go to university, you get your 25k plus salary as soon as you step out. It's a complete lie. It's a lie. It's a complete fallacy, it's a falsehood, and it's a shame because there's some really skilled people who are forcing themselves to go down academic routes when they are creative, for example, because they're told, oh, you're not going to make money like this or whatever, and you're forced down all these very, very narrow kind of routes, and again, for nothing. There's no end. You leave university if you do anything arts related and you end up going into a PA, secretary, administration, anything like that, and it's just not enough.
Being independent and a creative, I don't know how to use that word in it because it seems elite, but it's hard because work can be inconsistent, especially if you don't have that broad network where you get work every now and again, or not even every now and again, every, let's say, week.
Everything is a grind. Getting paid on time is a grind. Juggling projects is a grind. And as much as you think, oh yeah, I want to be my own boss, what I always tell people is that when you become freelance, you're not your own boss. You now have 7 bosses if you're working for 7 different clients, or you now have like one big boss and then loads of little mini bosses at the company that you're working for who then feel like they can boss you about and tell you what to do as well. So it's not easy by any chance, but for me it was a lifestyle decision. I thought that I wanted to work in a way that would allow me to manage my time so that I can pursue my own projects and also raise my child. Like I wanted to be essentially like a stay-at-home mom who also works.
I think we've always got to be willing to accept that sometimes the script changes and we've got to adapt to that and learn to just take it on your chin and move with whatever way your heart's going. I think that's another thing. A lot of people don't follow what their heart says. There's a lot of pressure to do what your parents say. Your parents want you to be a doctor, and deep down you want to be a ballerina. Listen, rude boy, go and be a ballerina. Get your tutu and your leotard and do it. Honestly, pursue what's best for you.
And I think that ultimately the choices that you make need to come from a place of quality, not quantity. So what is the qualitative outcome that you want, rather than, oh, I want to make 100 grand a year? Because you can go full time, work for someone and make 100 grand a year, probably a lot easier than working freelance and making 100 grand a year, unless you're like born into a connection and you know someone who knows wealthy clients who will kind of like get you that. So it's definitely a grind, but I can see why people want to do it, and I wouldn't say don't do it, like, but you need to think about the reasons why you're going to do it, because it's not straightforward.
I think the current political climate for people under 35 is really precarious. Right? It's to the point where nothing that happens in politics can be ignored. A lot of stuff that we're only just finding out about in terms of studies, investigative journalism, and things of that nature, it's already happened, such as the siphoning of millennium wealth just to cover Gen X and boomer pensions, things of that nature. I mean, there's a reason why we are the poorest generation ever. And it's something that really and truly we should have been made aware of.
At the moment, it's just extremely volatile. To millennials, like, you know, on LinkedIn, you see a number of articles about, oh, millennials can't take rejection, and oh, they're too sensitive, and it's just like, yeah, sure, if you take away that, you know, any future prospects of owning a house, of having a pension, having a future, retiring, I'm sure you'd be pretty sensitive and hostile to life as well. So please just get out of here.
Because there was a time when I was looking for like full-time work, and I was not getting full-time work. And I know that I'm qualified, I know that I'm intelligent, I know that I've got the talent and a resume that proves that, but I wasn't getting work. And I mean, I kind of just put it down to the political climate. I mean, it could have been other things, it could have been like prejudice, but for me I was just thinking, no, it's definitely the way that the economy is at the moment. The job market is harder for everyone. So I think that's partly, not the entire reason, but that's partly why I went freelance. And I think that a lot of millennials, that we have to just hustle in ways that other generations didn't have to hustle.
And it just feels that at such young ages, we're not allowed to dream. We're not allowed to, you know, make a few mistakes and just literally figure shit out. You know, our parents came into, a lot of the time, you know, I know my mum came into this country and she just went straight into a job, and that was it, and that's the job that she's had. There's no such thing as a job for life anymore. There's no such thing as those kind of security blankets when it comes to employment and money. You know, it's literally a free-for-all. You know, cue the entrepreneurs who, you know, think that they can be like Mark Zuckerberg and make millions and millions. These people are like fractions of occurrences, you know, in the you know, the thousands and millions of young 20-somethings, you know, and it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. If you calculate your prospects of, you know, the likelihood of whether you're going to move out of your parents' house before the age of 30, that's a depressing thing to think about. Like, it's really depressing.
Brexit is something that I am very angry about, because the lies that were in the media, like blatant lies, the fact that mainstream media were validating these far-right opinions by putting Nigel Farage and what's her face Hopkins on like platforms to speak their like horrible, hateful, racist stuff. They were validating these opinions. They were kind of skewing the debate. They weren't talking about the real issues. And then when it happened, it was kind of like, oh no, like what have we done? Like, you see like newspapers now saying like, oh no, we need to report the facts, and oh my gosh, in the age of Brexit, donate to the Guardian because we're bringing you the real news. It's like, well, what did you do before Brexit? Don't talk about the age of Brexit. What you're gonna do now? Like, what did you do before? Like,
I think it's quite tense as well. I don't want to liken it to like a work of fiction. Certainly not this particular work of fiction. But I can think of nothing better, and it's a Hunger Games situation. I think we're on the precipice of that. Like, there's a lot of deep-seated resentment in our generation for generations older than us, because, and it's completely justified, because they let us down.
Anyone who doesn't fit that quote-unquote mould, it's a very scary thing. Like, what is next year going to look like for Londoners? What is next year going to look like for anybody in the UK? From university fees to the cost of your bread. You know, it's like, it literally affects everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. You know, every element of your life is going to be affected by this decision.
following politics on Twitter with this whole Brexit thing and seeing how it actually affects us, because I guess I didn't care when I was younger because life was life. It never really affected me. I didn't feel it affecting me. But I feel like now we're at the age where these things do affect us, like Brexit is going to affect us like big time.
Politics is personal. If you want certain things out of life, if you want a certain enjoyment out of life, you do need to be reasonably politically involved. Otherwise, the things that will stop you from going after what it is you want to go after, whether you want to go to university or whether you want to get this job or anything like that, whether you want to get this place, whether you want to travel somewhere.
Whatever happens, they're going to feel like life is not going to change for them. So that's probably why they don't care. And it's probably true, like things are always going to be hard, but I think whatever you can do to make it better, you should do it.
You are taking things for granted. When you have something, it's easy to not understand where it comes from. I remember when we had EMA, and education maintenance allowance, when you had that, it was nice. You went to school and they gave you money to help you, especially if you were from a disenfranchised background. They gave you money that allowed you to, have the same freedom of lifestyle as your friends and your colleagues who were a little bit more affluent than you were. They don't have that no more. So there's a little Danielle right now who's in college, and she might want to literally just go to school and concentrate on school, but she has to have a part-time job because her mum can't afford to pay for her to get on the trains or whatever, especially because I was going to school in Richmond. So that ticket alone was expensive, and I had subsidies. But if you're just enjoying life, you're not realizing, okay, this thing comes from the government that we have in place who care about our futures. So it's easy to be like, whatever, whoever's in, they're going to be rubbish. It's easy to be complacent. So I would encourage them to look at the things that they have, the benefits, and not benefits in that way, but the benefits of living in this society, and think to themselves, okay, I might be coming, some people have been like, I'm coming to the end of it, and if I paid, you have to pay for university and stuff like that. But for me, it's like, no, you have to start thinking on a social scale.
I don't think it's that negative enough to become apathetic. I think we still need to vote. I think we still need to be engaged in the political climate. We still need to understand what's happening, because whoever's in power, they are going to dictate your life for 4 or 5 years. A lot of mess can happen in 4 or 5 years, as we've seen.
Some people, they feel like in order for them to get far in their careers, they need to disassociate from their blackness in order to become successful in their career. I've seen it happen over and over again. Get people, you talk to them, Gabriel, what's that? Grime? No, what's that? We grew up in Brixton together. What do you mean? No, I don't drink that. And you're like, wait, so you're Nigerian, you don't eat pounded jam, you don't eat jollof rice, you're telling me all you eat is risotto balls, green wraps? Like, come on, man. Some people really...
That's worrying. They're in a sunken place.
But do you know what the crazy thing is? That's what is common amongst black people.
Yeah, I relate to
If you look at between the last 10 years and now, how many young black girls do you know that go to Starbucks? Starbucks was never our thing. But now everybody, I want a skinny chai latte, I want a coffee, which name I can't pronounce, which costs £7 and is tiny as hell, but it's fancy.
And deep down, you can't do it.
And the crazy thing is, we're denying ourselves to fit in within a particular set of people that don't even want us to sit at their tables.
Words.
Because you're wearing a camel skin Mac and Huaraches with no laces doesn't mean that you're middle class, honestly. But you got a lot of people doing it thinking, hey, I'm upper tier, you can't touch me, I'm up there with the greats. And they still see you as a black boy, as a black girl.
Hey, real life hits at some point or the other.
Yeah.
When you've been grinding, you're waiting for that promotion and somebody has been there for 5 seconds.
Or when you find out your colleague that you and them do the same job earns $3 grand more than you.
Bro.